So I'll just give it to you. Basic, my basic training was anything that you're sharpening. Just like when you're cutting something, the thing that you cut with or what you sharpen with has to be harder than the thing that you are sharpening. Right? And so some of these steels can be, depending on the tool, can be pretty hard. So if you use a files, there are some steels can be harder than a file. Generally, this is your safe with a file. But if you're sharpening something, you see that, hey, I'm not taking much off. Stop. You're using the wrong tool. Just get a grinding wheel. Anything that's stone generally will be harder than the steel. But as long as you have a flat edge, see, like you're in the field and you bust up the machete. And you say, God, I got a big hole in the machete now. Just find a rock with a flat edge on it. So that's flat enough. At least I can knock off those burrs. It'll hold me while I'm in the field. And then here's a sharpening stone. And usually they'll have a coarse and a fine. We'll start with your coarse. And when you're cutting like a knife, any cutting implement, you always follow the same angle that you see. This is a flat edge here. So because these are shears, I definitely don't want to be at an angle different because it'll mess them up. They're no longer going to cut. And just like a knife in your pocket. So you look at the angle that's already on the tool. Like the machete is usually like a V, yeah?
Yeah, so just a quick note, like John's saying, it's really important to look at your tool. So like some tools have 2 bevels, like some knives have 2 bevels, and like loppers, for instance, just have 1. Cutting shears often have 1. So you want to follow that flat side. Don't ever try to change that. For some of you in the kitchen, if you use like a lot of the Japanese types knives have a flat edge on one side and 1 beveled edge. It's part of how they can keep it sharp, very, very sharp, because you're only sharpening one side. So go on, John.
So on a tool like this, if I start filing this edge down, then all of a sudden I've opened up that gap, and it's no longer going to be a shear with this the other half. I can touch it, keeping the same flat. So I just take the burr off, and then on the other side, you see the angle. I'm going to follow the same angle all the way around, and you'll see when you get right to the cutting edge, there should be no more shiny spot. It's like a razor at that point. And maybe you don't want to go it's just your judgment calls. I don't want to really make it that sharp because it makes it dangerous. So I sharpen it, the angle that I see, I clean it all the way off so I see, okay, now I've got a sharp edge here and here. And then if you do notice that it's got a bolt here. So just like there's some good scissors, if you see it's not cutting good, then just squeeze down the bolt a little bit so it closes the jaws on there. On one other thing I would say,
Get a stirrup pull out.
You have a knife?
Machete?
Machete? If you, oftentimes, people will take like their file, especially because this is going to take off more metal than the stone. Stone will only take small bits of metal at a time, but if this will go much faster. So it depends on how sharp you want your edge. If you're sharpening away from the cutting edge, if you put it under a microscope, you see these little serrated teeth edge. In some cases, that may be an advantage. Maybe that's what I want. But if I want a sharpest edge just to go right through whatever I'm cutting, then it's like your pocket knife. I would use my stone on my pocket knife because it's got a hard blade, and I would start from the cutting edge inward. And then if you put it under a microscope, you see, okay, nice clean edge, and that'll be really sharp. And you can see it too. when you look at the cutting edge, there's no shiny spot on that edge. Comes right to a dull point. So I would, if I wanted this as sharp as possible, I'd start from the outside, going towards the cutting edge like this. And another thing, when you're using a file, it'll last you a whole lot longer if you just go one stroke. If you've got a lot of filing, let's say this thing had a real busted up point. And
yeah, some Go Farmer did that last year though, so it wasn't you guys.
Okay.
Saying.
Yeah, this one has some big chunks.
Yeah.
You can use the file. See, I'm dragging it backwards. And when you drag that backwards, you're just dulling the teeth of this file. So the proper way, you can get away with it here and there, but the proper way to make your file last, go one stroke, pick it up, bring it back. So this way I'm cutting one stroke, I'm cutting at the cutting edge into the tool, and that's like a razor.
Do you have an opinion on counting strokes per side? No. Okay.
Until all the dings are gone, and then I look at the edge. Now, for me, because I know that lots of people are using this tool, I'm going to take the file and I'm just going to rub over the tip, just give it a light dull, so it's not like, it touches your hand and it'll take your hand wet over.
Yeah.
So that's any questions. That's the theory.